All right, welcome to the Sit Down Zumock podcast. This is the Z-Man coming at you live and direct from Cleveland, Ohio. Special emergency podcast episode. Emergency. Like those sound effects? I got production up in this bitch. Yeah, I'm doing this podcast. First of all, Happy New Year's to everyone. Happy New Year's. I hope 2019 is going to be a good year for you. I hope it's a good year for your families. I wish you nothing but good health. I want to thank everyone that bought my album, A White Guy Named Chad, and got it to number 5 in the country. So that was cool. And I was number 5 for 48 hours. That was pretty dope. Usually when that happens, like comics will release and they'll do like a pre-order. And then when they release it, it's in the top 10 all of a sudden. I didn't have a pre-order. I just kind of released it and it slowly, gradually worked its way up to number 5, which is pretty much harder to do. So that's just a lot of people that, listen to the podcast, that heard me on Anthony Cumia's show, Nikki Glazer's show, Kevin Brennan, Bennington. Who am I forgetting? Tripley, Punch Drunk, Ari Shafir, Jason Tebow, and everybody that just kind of heard me on those programs. Oh, Todd and Tyler out in Omaha. Everyone that helped promote it, everyone that retweeted it, left a comment, left a rating, it made it number 5, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. Right there, Dave Blower. Your new album was really good. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, you can get it on iTunes. It's only $7.99. It's a good way to support me. You can go to iTunes, anywhere you get music, and if you have a streaming service, just stream it a million times, and then I can make 5 cents. But yeah, thanks for all the support. I'm doing this podcast because I woke up this morning in my hotel, and I did my normal routine. I go on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm reading all the comments, and then I see Louie C.K., comedian Louie C.K. trending. So I hit the trend thing, and apparently what happened is Louie C.K. has been doing some secret shows. Like, I know he did some shows at Governor's in Long Island, and what they were doing is they weren't advertising. Louie pretty much, basically, he wasn't even on the marquee. They just sent an email blast out that day, and he did, I think, show like all week long, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was all word of mouth. And a lot of that was just because of the protesters and the nonsense that's going on right now with the Me Too movement, and everyone's bitching about it. So he wanted to work on material at Governor's, and it's hard for a guy like Louie. He's been trying to pop in at the cellar, and it's all kinds of nonsense. And I don't care what side you stand on, but the one thing I will tell you right now, if you're recording someone's set and they're still working on material, you're an asshole. You're a complete asshole for doing that. This is the preempt. It's like the beginning of a joke. We're molding clay. We don't know where we're going, and that's exactly what Louie C.K. is going. He hasn't been on stage in over a year since the Me Too allegations and the pile-on. So he's starting from scratch. At first, everyone was pissed off that he wasn't addressing the situation, even though he addressed it in an article a year ago while he got on stage. But I'm going to tell you right now, try not doing, if you're a comic, try not doing anything for a year. Anything. If you work out, you run. If you're a runner, don't run for a year. And then expect a year from now, go run 10 miles in under 30 minutes. It's ridiculous for you to, he had to get he had to get comfortable, and he had to get his legs under him before he can even attempt to address that. I mean, I one time took 6 months off of stand-up, and I was so rusty when I got on stage. I had to do old material just to get used to it. So for everyone that was just overly criticizing, he's not sorry enough, and what do you want? What do you want the guy to do? Like he stepped away for a year, calmed down a little bit. You just expect him to never do stand-up comedy again? I mean, that's who he is. He's a stand-up comic. That's what he does. He's been very successful at it. He has a following. Even though he lost a ton of money, representation, he still has a good following. And he's allowed to do that. He's allowed to work. So this guy tapes his set at Governor's. It leaks online. Next thing you know, TMZ picks it up, and they're addressing the content that he's talking about. And here's the thing about Louis C.K. He's always taking chances. I'm not a huge Louis C.K. stand-up fan. I think he's he has phenomenal bits, but he's not one of my favorite comics. But he does take chances. He's edgy, and for him not to pander to what happened, he still takes it to the edge to see where he can go, and that's exactly what he was doing with this bit. And I'm trying to pull it up right now, so forgive me for stalling. I guess he said something about the Parkland shooter. Am I reading this right? I'm not prepared. How does Bill Burr and Theo and D'Elia, how do you guys do this by yourself? It's so hard. I love talking to somebody. Like, how do you guys just sit there and run your mouths? I mean, it's so hard to do. I mean, Bill Burr, that guy can read the phone book and he's interesting. Okay, I'm reading this Variety. Of course, Variety had to pick it up. And here's the headline. Louis C.K. stirs outrage with the jokes about the Parkland shooting survivors. Gender identity issues. That's the headline. And right then there's a photo. It says, disgraced comedian Louis C.K. has stirred up more outrage. Just stirred it up after taking aim at the Parkland shooting survivors and gender identity concerns in a recent set at a comedy club in Long Island. A 48-minute audio recording, you piece of shit, whoever recorded that. You're a fucking asshole. You stink. You just fucked this guy over. He's working on his material and you gave it away. A 48-minute audio recording of CK surfaced late Sunday on YouTube. It was described as a set delivered on December 16th at Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. You know what's funny? Kevin Brennan was on that show, which is hilarious. I remember Kevin telling me, and so was Carrie Caravis. She was a host from Two Tired Twats Chick Chat. So they were on that show. I love the fact that Kevin Brennan, he's so toxic. I guarantee if Kevin wasn't on this show, this audio would never have gotten leaked. It was just Kevin's bad luck. So Louie, you should thank Kevin, your little good luck charm. It was a good idea having him open for you. CK starts the set, and they're giving away the material in this ad. Starts the set by nothing, that he had a rough time the last 14 months since the multiple women came out forward accusing him of sexual harassment and misconduct. CK acknowledged the truth of the claims made in the New York Times. Yeah, he already addressed it. Why does he always have to address it? What happened with addressing it and moving on with your life? What about doing the time? You know, there's a reason why we have prisons, reform. You do the time, and then you can go live your life. Okay? You got a little red flag, but people learn and they move forward. So he already addressed it. Why does he got to keep addressing it? But this Variety piece is just, it's so one-sided. It's the bubble LA lives in. And I love that I'm moving to LA in 2 weeks. I got to be in this bubble. I got to be around these people and just the hypocrisy that goes along with it. So fast forward, I'm on Twitter and I'm reading this stuff. I'm like, this is fucking. So I fire out a tweet saying whoever left that recording's a piece of garbage. And the people that are criticizing Louie for working on ideas should drink a gallon of Clorox while they're duct taped to a house that's on fire. Or something along the lines of that. I was trying to be funny. Got a couple retweets, so. But yeah, it's just so. And then my buddy, if you listen to the podcast, Sam Tripoli, he's been on here a lot, and I do the Punch Drunk Sports. He goes ahead and sticks up for Louie. And then Judd Apatow, famous director Judd Apatow, I guess comedian too, Listen, I met Judd Apatow. I got nothing against the guy. He was a nice guy. I know he's never going to put me in a movie, so I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not a huge fan of his stand-up. You know, it's just subjective. I know he loves stand-up, and I respect that. I know he's helped out some stand-ups. He produces the show Crashing. And, you know, he for some reason thinks what he says, his opinion, is what we all should think. He tweets out, because Rolling Stone obviously picked it up too. God damn, a bunch of... Louie C.K. and it's, quote, "You're not interesting because you went to high school where kids got shot." Quote, Louie C.K. mocks Parkland survivors and leaked audio. So Judd Apatow, stand-up comedian, if you're watching the live, I'm doing the quotes because what comic's doing this right here? He writes, "This hacky, unfunny, shallow routine is just a symptom of how people are afraid to feel empathy. It's so much easier to laugh at our most vulnerable than to look at their pain directly and show them love and concern. Louis C.K. is all fear and bitterness now. He can't look inward." Like, what? Dude, are you a comic? Are you a comic, man? You're trashing a guy working on material. Judd, you're very successful. You've done a lot. Like he's listening to this. Maybe he is. I don't know. You've done all you can in Hollywood. Like, why are you calling out another comic working on material? So this is what I say you do, Judd. The next special you're working up for, like right when you're working on new material, I want everyone to record your set. I want everybody to take out the audio, record it, sneak it, and then leak it out there when it's in its infancy. Like, before it's even done. Just put it out there and let people judge. You know, it's only fair. That's what you're doing to Louie right now. You're judging him on a bit that he's working on. So now everyone, Hollywood's in an outrage. They're calling him Trump. It's just the bubble you guys live in. Like, what are you doing, dude? But that's the one thing that annoys me about Judd Apatow. He always feels like he needs to speak on behalf of comedy. Like, I'm in charge here. I'm the director of comedy, so this is how it should be. You know, but the truth of the fact of the matter is, Judd, you're responsible for some really garbage comedy. I'm not saying your set. I'm just saying other comedians. I'm not going to name some names, but you've named some. Okay. So Sam Tripoli. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Again, Bill Burr, how do you do this? D'Elia, Theo Vaughn, email me. I need tips on how to do this by myself. I'm an idiot. And I actually have broadcasting experience. I was in radio. So Tripoli tweets, "I stand with Louis C.K." And then he calls out Judd. Public tweet. This takes balls, by the way, because everyone's afraid in Hollywood. Everyone's afraid to speak their opinion because they're like, oh, maybe Judd Apatow won't put me in a movie or what. I don't know what. Everyone's scared. So he goes, "I stand with Louis C.K. Judd, did you call out Liam Dunham when she admitted to molesting her sister and falsely accusing a man of sexual assault in college? No, of course not. If anyone knows hacky, it's you. Holy shit. You used the cheat code to get on stage to be one of us. We won't forget this." I liked it. I liked the tweet. I mean, Sam's 100% right. Sam is a comedian through and through. He is the definition of a comedian. He put the time in. He's a Comedy Store regular. He's responsible for a lot of guys' careers. He's the one who got Tom Segura to do stand-up. He's gotten people past the store. He's been on TV. He's had specials. And, you know, he might not be a household name. He's definitely not a millionaire like Judd Apatow, but more comics are going to respect Tripoli than you, Judd. I mean, real diehard comics. And it's true, man. It's the hypocrisy. Like, you could I hate pylons. I was part of a pylon in Cleveland. And I just see people's hypocrisy. Everyone wants to point the finger and like, oh, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. No, you're not. You know, no one's perfect. We all fuck up. We all do stupid things. So, all I'm saying, Judd Apatow, I hope you don't have any skeletons in the closet, bro. I hope there's nothing you're hiding. Because this day and age, stuff leaks, and that's not going to age well if something comes out on you. And I'm not saying there is. I'm not accusing you. But be careful when you point fingers because, you know, it could look pretty bad. I'm looking at the Facebook Live right now. I'm going to get to some of these questions since I'm on here. Bryant Perkins says, to think there are really 17 people watching this is informed. I learned how to type, dude. Dave says, celebrity gossip reporters are the scum of the earth. Yeah, everyone wants a page click. They'll do anything just for a page click in the headlines. Oh, they make it way worse than what it really is. Michael, one of my top fans, Tankersley, did I say that right? Louie C.K. just did a set that he normally does. He always said things like this. Exactly. Michael, 100%. If, say none of these allegations came out or none of the sexual misconduct, Me Too bullshit, you guys would be like, oh, Louie's a genius. Did you see that joke? Oh, man. Louie, I think Kevin Brennan said he's a reckless guy. He always has been. Like I heard a story that he bought a car and he didn't have a license or insurance. And one time it got booted and he just left it there. Like he's always taken chances and done dumb things. But I forgot my point. Trishan Sanchez, do you think the recent headlines regarding comedians is discouraging people from pursuing comedy? Good question. I hope so, because there are way too many comedians. The less, the better. Seriously, if you're discouraged by those headlines, yeah, you should probably not do it, because everyone's a comedian. You know, it's only profession where you're like, I'm a comedian. How many times have you been on stage? 3 times. But I'm a comedian. It's like a doctor. I'm a doctor. Have you performed any surgeries? No, but I put a Band-Aid on once, so I'm a doctor. I don't know. These page click headlines, everyone's looking for a scoop. Everyone's looking to throw someone under the bus. It's a weird time right now. And the fact of the matter is, it's all from the social media, and it's such a small group. Like, for some reason, since we're on there, we think it's being talked about everywhere. Like, everyone's talking about it. And I was just at Hilarities this weekend with my buddy Nate Bargassi. And thank you, Joe. Joe says, you were a great opening for Nate this weekend. Yeah, Nate, so we were talking about it. It's just a small group of people that are online. Like, I have family members that I was at home for Christmas, my aunt's house. My aunt's not on social media. My cousins aren't on social. They don't care about Twitter. They don't care about Facebook. But the people that are on, they think they're speaking for everybody. But the ticket buyer, the consumer, the Midwest people, they don't care about anything going on in Hollywood. They don't care about this Louie stuff. In fact, all they care about is, their life, their mortgage, their income, gas prices, and, so all these headlines with everything going on in Hollywood, the bubble they live in, they don't understand. The ticket buyer, the consumer, they don't care. And it's so magnified right now. It's pretty scary, actually. And here's another thing I say. The difference between Judd Apatow and Louie C.K. is I've never, ever heard someone go, hey, did you hear that one Judd Apatow joke? So say what you want about Louie. You cannot like his comedy, but the guy's done a lot for comedy. He's put people on a show. He's, Godfrey's a good friend of mine. Godfrey's like, dude, Louie's always been good to me. And he sees the hypocrisy and all the bullshit that goes on with it. And next time you go to pile on someone, whether you're famous or anybody, just because it seems like it's a cool thing to do and you want to feel a part of it, seriously, second guess it. Take a second, look at the opposition. If you want to feel empathy, Judd Apatow, assess the situation. Yeah, Louie C.K., he's a millionaire, he's famous, he's done everything, but do you ever think about he has kids? He has daughters. What about them? So you just call out their dad like that and make them look like a piece of shit where their kids are online and, oh, great, there's, this guy's making fun of our dad. How about some empathy to him? All right. I just had to address this because I was online. It was just driving me nuts. And I was just looking at these tweets and these headlines and everyone. I'm just so sick of it. I'm so tired of the hypocrisy of everything. It's just, just take a second and before you jump and pile on, think about it. I do this with both sides. I'm not a political guy because I don't care. I think politics is dirty. I think it's a nasty. I don't understand why anybody gets so passionate about politics. It's such a piece of shit. It's it's necessary, but a lot of people in government, running for office, they're just horrible people. Both sides of the fucking aisle. So I never got passionate about it because I think they're shitty people. But I'll listen to someone's opinion without, throwing them in the fire. I'll sit there and I'll listen. And that's what no one's doing. I had a great discussion over the weekend. We were at Hilarities, and it was myself, Sam, the GM there, Nate Bargatze, and Mary Santoro, who's a local comic in Cleveland. And we were talking about some pretty intense stuff, but it was a discussion. It was a conversation. And I was thinking, I go, we can't have this. A lot of people aren't having this conversation. They're just rushing to judgment, and they're pointing fingers, and they'll just automatically, you're an idiot, and walk away. But we were really challenging topics, and I think a lot more people need to do that. I think a lot of people need to just listen and talk, but we're in this age where guilty, take away his career. Who'd you vote for? All right, never talking to you again. You're a piece of shit. It doesn't work like that. It shouldn't work like that. But unfortunately, that's where we are. Again, Bill Burr, how do you do this? And I like how I pretend Bill Burr's listening to this. That's hilarious. Dalia, how you do? Should I call Dalia? I can call him. I have his phone number. Any questions here? Let's go to the Facebook Live before I sign off. It's a lot of what up. James Brown. I love that your name's James Brown. There's Megan. There's Kathy. Christian Lennon. I love your Aldi's commercial. Any chance of a second? I don't think so. I love how that there's a video I did for Aldi. I was their spokesperson, and it got, I don't know how many views it has, but it'll just start coming around again. I released it, I think 4 years ago, and then I'll log on to Facebook and I'll see everyone posting again from out of nowhere. But yeah, it's definitely made the rounds for sure. All right, guys, listen. I'm going to be doing some more solo podcasts in 2019. I've been very inconsistent with the podcast, and I apologize, especially to Patreon. I do appreciate you guys supporting me and signing up for the Patreon and buying my album. I think solo is the way to go. Just it's so hard to get in a room with somebody. I was with Nate this weekend, and we're like, do you want a podcast? He didn't want to do it. I didn't want to really do it. So it's hard to really get into it with somebody. But if there's somebody I really want to talk to and I'll pursue, I'll have them on. But I think I'm going to do a lot more solo Q&A. You can email me, chadzumock3@gmail.com. That's my personal email. If something you see on the internet you want me to talk about, you want my opinion on it, I think that's the best way to go about it. You can tweet me at Chad Zumock, Instagram, Chad Zumock. I got a YouTube page. My YouTube page is Adventures in Argyle. Please hit subscribe. I'm putting up content on that. I put stand-up clips. It's all free. It's all free. I'm just asking you to subscribe to free shit. Let's leave with Tristan. Tristan always has good questions, so we'll leave Tristan Sanchez with this. Have you ever thought about writing or appearing on Saturday Night Live? I think it needs a shot in the arm to get away from the political humor. Yeah, I've thought about it. Of course. I'd love to be on Saturday Night Live. I wish it was that easy. Just, yeah, I'll do it. I'm never going to be on Saturday Night Live. I wish. But right now I'm a white dude in his 40s. They're not looking at me. I mean, it's I think the show's definitely gotten weaker. I got friends on the show. Michael Che's a great guy. I think he does a good job. But yeah, for everyone criticizing Trump, a lot of people are making money off that dude. Saturday Night Live's ratings because of Trump. Stephen Colbert. So you can shit on him all you want, but you're using them to make money and get ratings. So let's look at the hypocrisy there. Yes, I know. In my opinion, it's not what it used to be. It's, I tap out. I don't even watch it live. I just watch a couple YouTube clips here and there. And I would love to be on site nutrition. I'd love to do anything. I'd love to be on anything. James Brown, love the On the Couch with Florentine. Am I an ugly man? Thanks. Yeah, my YouTube page. Just hit subscribe, guys. Pick up the album. Thanks for making it number 5 in the country. That was cool. That was a fun 48 hours. Happy New Year. We will be back next year in 2019 with the Sit Down Zumock Bunch of BS podcast. I don't think I'm calling it that anymore. Again, hit me up if you want me to talk about anything. But thank you so much for listening. Hit subscribe. That's a wrap.